YouTube, Professor Kadra here. This is Community 101, Ethics. One of the most important parts about pipe smoking, it's got nothing to do with the technique, tobacco, or equipment, but it's understanding how to enjoy the hobby around other people, you know? It's a public-facing hobby, people can smell it, people notice it, and the way smokers behave affects how the hobby itself is perceived. First rule, simple,
True.
Be considerate, right? If your smoke's bothering somebody, don't turn it into an argument, right?
Yep, of course.
Move, adjust, stop. Pipe's a hobby, other people's comfort, it's gonna matter.
Absolutely.
You know, you should be especially mindful around children, entrances, crowded public areas, restaurants, shared airspaces, anywhere smoking is clearly unwelcome, really.
Yeah, it's interesting because pipes are kind of a middle ground. You're not quite smoking a cigarette in everybody's face, but a lot of people will kind of perceive it that way. And even though it smells a lot nicer a lot of the times, it's still, people don't like smoke all the time, you know?
Yeah, it does have the negative connotations, and it's a bit more positive. You know, a cigar has a more pungent aroma to
Yeah.
it. That's going to really...
It's funny, I love cigars, and a lot of people don't like... A lot of non-smokers just can't stand the smell of cigars, more so than cigarettes. They really dislike it.
Yeah, it's a lot of tobacco burning. It's very strong.
I like the taste and the smell, personally, but...
As do I. But, you know, there's a difference between smoking on your own porch, smoking at a cigar lounge, smoking around friends, smoking in a crowded public setting. You know, different places are going to call for different judgments, right? The tobacco you choose could also matter, right? Some blends make room notes, and we're talking about how pungent these cigars are. And, I mean, cigars might have different room notes. You know, maybe people more into cigars would know more about that. But to me, there's just kind of a general cigar kind of a smell.
Yeah, for sure.
Versus pipe tobacco. The different blends can really have...
A lot of people say they like the smell of a pipe. I know a lot of people that are like, my grandpa used to smoke a pipe, and I loved the way it smelled. And, you know?
Yeah, it's a very common reaction to the pipe.
You got that going for you, pipe smokers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, some non-smokers will tolerate or even enjoy a room note, you know,
right,
more than certain others. You know, mild aromatic in an open outdoor space, it's different from a very heavy Latakia blend, you know, in a densely packed crowd, you know, maybe at a outdoor concert or something. You know, part of being a good pipe smoker is learning awareness. You know, not just awareness of your pipe, but awareness of your surroundings. You know, we've been talking about how it affects non-smokers around you, but there's also piping about, you know, the ethics of how you affect other pipers.
Yeah.
You know, and then pipe smoking should never really become about a performative superiority. You know, there's room for beginners, there's room for budget smokers, there's room for collectors, cadre blend, all kinds of different...
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's how I kind of feel about a lot of things in general, but we've been talking a lot about, too, the fact that the numbers for pipe smoking are going down. The hobby is dying out among, you know, younger generations, and, you know, if you try to be exclusive and competitive about it, then it's not going to help the cause.
No, yeah, advice is good. Gatekeeping, as much as I dislike the word, I think it's important to say, is not. You know, it's definitely not helping. Like, especially in a hobby that's, I don't know if it's on its last legs, but, you know, more and more it seems that it's becoming harder and harder to involve yourself in the hobby, at least in a meaningful way.
And part of that too, and I see we're about to get to this topic of slowing down, but we live in a world that's not very slowed down, and, you know, it's hard for people to find that time even to do things like enjoy something as simple, which is kind of one of the best things it has going for it, is you carve out a little piece of time for yourself to be aware and to think and to relax. That's
the beauty of it. That's what attracts a lot of people to pipe smoking and gets them so enamored with it once they get into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really, you know, it's about staying connected to what makes pipe smoking enjoyable in the first place. Relaxing, conversing, reflecting, slowing down, getting back in touch with yourself, your own thoughts. You know, Good manners preserve the hobby. And if you want to represent pipe smoking well, I think it's important to be calm, be respectful, and leave people with a better impression than they had before.
Definitely.
Just like camping.
Yep, definitely. And like, as far as like relaxing, slowing down, I know for me a lot of times my life's pretty busy. We both have gardens. We both enjoy being outside in our gardens, and it's like, you wake up, you have a cup of coffee, and you have a pipe. Often lasts longer than the coffee will, but it gives you some time to sit in the garden and think about things.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other hand, socially, when we're together, me and you will hang out and we'll have a pipe or a cigar or something. And when we do that, it gives us some sort of activity where really what we want is to just be hanging out and talking, but it doesn't feel, it gives you a feeling like you're doing something. You're doing something together, something you both enjoy.
Yeah, especially
sort of frames the time.
Especially where we're at in like the phase of our lives where we're at, right? Where like you kind of get that in an earlier stage of your life out in bars. Like it's really like it's the thing to do. You're just hanging out with your friends. It's really the quality time that you're spending, but it's something to be doing with that time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think pipe smoking is for all adult ages, but we're in our mid-30s, and like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's at this point in our lives, we're getting less and less like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? It's not like, hey, let's go out to a bar, let's go out to a show. We still enjoy having fun, but more often you just want to slow down and be social in a more meaningful and one-on-one way, or maybe with a group, but like.
Yeah, perhaps some more discussion on that when we talk about conventions.
Yep. We just had a good experience at our first pipe convention.
Yeah, the Chicago 2026 30th anniversary show. Maybe we saw some of you there.
Oh, yep.
All right. Until next time, thanks for watching.